Welcome to Deep Thought, the birth of the sun. Now, today is the winter solstice. It's a very important time. A lot of people just see it as the first day of winter. But in many cultures, many ancient cultures, and even today with many New Age communities and many spiritual communities, it's a day of spiritual significance. And it's just, as I said, the birth of the sun. Now, technically, of course, it's the beginning of winter, but also it's the shortest period of daylight. Ironically, the birth of the sun on the shortest period of daylight, but I'll explain that in a second. And it's the longest period of darkness during the year, right? Now, it's the birth of the sun because what happens? Yes, it's the longest night and it's the shortest day, but then the days progressively get longer afterwards. The sun starts to show more, right? So the days become longer and everything. And in many traditions, they saw it as a spiritual significant thing. And you could even say that now. Now, I didn't want to like spend time going over each tradition, but if you look at what we celebrate now, it's, the primary holiday now is Christmas. Now, of course, other groups have holidays during this time. The Jewish community has Hanukkah. Kwanzaa, we won't get into a political discussion, but, it's still a time, it's still based on that principle. You had a lot of stuff in the Scandinavian countries. Now, it's interesting with Christmas because people see it as a Christian holiday, the celebration of the birth of Christ, the Son of God. But technically, if many scholars who've actually studied and actually believe that Jesus existed, and that's a whole other conversation, but scholars who really studied the Bible and everything, they believe he wasn't born on December 25th. It was just arbitrary. Well, not arbitrary, but if you look at the saviors in other traditions like Heru, they were generally born, it's said that they were born around this time. But all of these saviors represented the sun. So it's a powerful period. It's a powerful period, spiritual significance. Many people who study it or who adhere to it, they'll do something. Some people meditate, some people fast. One thing I'm doing is I'm shaving all this stuff off. Usually for me, this is an aside, if I shave all my stuff off, like totally, like mustache and everything, it's not like just from some vanity or something. Because usually, if I shave my head, I'll leave a mustache, I'll leave a beard or goatee, I'll leave some facial hair or some hair. But if I shave it all off, it's always a spiritual thing. It's a new beginning, and that's how I'm treating the solstice, doing some deep cleaning around the place and everything. So, going to fast, going to liquid fast, and that's the thing. That's really the thing of this period. Now, it's interesting because if you look at Christmas, there's a lot of pagan traditions because, first of all, I know people say, well, wise men brought Jesus gifts on that day. And I've heard some people justify that. But there's also traditions in Scandinavian countries. And when you look at the tree, you look at a lot of stuff. You look at just calling it Yuletide. That's from a pagan tradition. See, this is a very powerful period. And one thing the early Christians did, I'll say the political Christians, and trust me, that's a whole other conversation. When to appeal to other cultures, they would adopt things from those other cultures and bring them into the Christian tradition. So that was one of the things. The whole Yuletide thing and, Santa Claus, the whole cold thing and everything. Because you probably didn't see any snow in the Middle East. or in that region, the Mediterranean region, or at least not that part of it anyway. You probably didn't see too much snow at the time. So, but it's powerful. I mean, I know a lot of people. There's some people listening that might do something around this time. There's some people that won't. That's cool. But remember, if you look at, let's expand it beyond just the birth of the sun, new beginnings. Think about something that's very significant that happens around this time. People's hearts open up. Think about it. People's hearts open up. I mean, one thing is a lot of focus on, all the commercialism. But basically what's happening is the corporations have taken advantage of something that was happening anyway. People are more giving. If you notice, this time of year, this is when people are just nicer. If you drive and people let you have the right of way with a smile a little bit quicker. People will talk to strangers a little bit quicker. People open their hearts up. You have people who are probably beat down by life. And they'll rise up around this period to show kindness to somebody. Family members might reach out. I mean, it could be sad for some people because, for whatever reason, you get a lot of breakups. But, sometimes the heart is always not about giving, but the heart is about having courage to do something. So you see a lot during this time. You see a lot, and it's an important period. And, when we talk about the birth of the sun, if you really look at it, it's significant. The sun represents life, new beginnings and everything. I mean, I think what's happened in Western tradition is that's kind of signified with the old going out and the new. That's kind of why you get the New Year's baby. You have the old guy, he's handing the scepter over to the young guy. He's starting anew. Even though January 1st, one of spiritual significance, I can't find any spiritual tradition where that's really that significant. I mean, I know Christian churches will have New Year's services and stuff, but any really truly deep thing that could be traced back to any ancient times, I can't really find. If somebody else can find that, let me know. Just do that for me, because Rom knows a lot, but I don't know everything. But I do know about, this is an important period. Like any solstice or equinox is always a very important period, and it's just you have to check what it is. But I would just say, just in the next few days, just think about things. Reevaluate some things. Reevaluate where you're going in life and everything. Just sit back, meditate. Definitely keep your heart open. Seriously, keep your heart open. I really do think because of the period, people opening up their hearts a bit more, people are kinder, and everything is very powerful spiritually. Because the reality is, most people are walking around with their hearts closed. People are walking around, they have been beat down by life, or they've had a lot of disappointments. And when you get this stuff, like I said, the commercial aspect has been overemphasized, but I think it's something deeper, That's why sometimes it could just be an act of kindness just to, just say hi to somebody or give them a card or something. Let them know you're thinking about them. And yeah, I know we got some cats that probably say we don't celebrate European holidays. Well, this is bigger. This is bigger, okay? This is bigger, and this is a more spiritual significance. You don't have to celebrate like Christmas per se. And then, you got to look at it or anything else associated with like around this season. But just feel like just a time of renewal, just a change. There's the change in energy. The sun, like I said, the sun gives life. It starts to get warmer and everything. It gets a little bit longer. It's just that baby coming up that's bringing life. And if you look at the saviors in history, that's what they've done. That's what they inspired them. We ain't gonna get into a discussion about who existed, who didn't, what's myth and what's not. But remember, sometimes just the symbol of it and what they represent is very important. So, yeah, and this is gonna be a shorter one. Like I said, look up stuff on the winter solstice. Just look it up, read about it, read different traditions and everything, because there's a lot out there. That's kind of why I didn't want to like go into anything specific. And I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing. So anyway, right? Just think on everything I'm saying. Like I said, this is a shorter one, but everything don't have to be long and that deep. Okay. Anyway, y'all keep rising and transforming. Peace and blessings.